Bennett is the top buffer as a 4-star ever since he released, but this may change now because Ian San a strong candidate who can take that place from Bennett. These are not my words, but beta testers saying that after testing Ian San's kit. So if you also interested in Ian San's kit, then you landed on perfect video. In this video, we'll explain full kit of Ian San with constellations, talents, skill, and burst. As we can't share Varisa's gameplay video here, because of copyright issues, you can find her gameplay on our Instagram. Instagram ID is mentioned in description. But before we start, we welcome you all wonderful and beautiful people with another exciting video. Also, we invite you to subscribe our channel because we give away a Welkin Moon every month. And this month's giveaway is already going on to participate in it. Check video from description. Now without wasting any more time, let's move on to today's video. Let's start with her attacks. Normal attack. Performs up to 3 consecutive spear strikes. Charged attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing damage to opponents along the way. Plunging attack plunges from mid-air to strike the ground below, damaging opponents along the path and dealing AoE damage upon impact. And this is her damage percent chart. You can pause the video and read. Now moving on to her Night Soul Blessing state. While in the Night Soul's Blessing state, Ian San's charged attack will be transformed into the formidable Swift Stormflight, consuming a certain amount of stamina to stomp fiercely down, dealing Night Soul-aligned AoE electro damage. Now moving on to her elemental skill Thunderbolt Rush, Ian San charges forward a certain distance, dealing Night Soul-aligned electro damage to all opponents in her path. After this is done, using a normal attack will trigger 1 Swift Stormflight Stomp that will not consume stamina. After this skill is used, Ian San will regain Night Soul points up to her maximum and enter the Night Soul's Blessing state. Night Soul's Blessing. Ian San continuously consumes Night Soul points. If she runs out or uses this skill again, her Night Soul's Blessing state will end. It has the following properties. Increases Ian San's movement speed and jumping power. Holding sprint will switch Ian San to Thunderbolt Rush mode, greatly increasing her movement speed and jumping power temporarily. In this mode, Ian San can make flying leaps using terrain, or consume additional Night Soul points to move on water or liquid phlogiston while being immune to damage from the latter. This is her skill's damage chart. You can pause the video and read. Now let's move on to her Elemental Burst, the 3 principles of power. Ian San's stomping foot shatters the very earth with power, dealing Night Soul-aligned AoE electro damage. She then whips out her limited edition kinetic energy scale for workouts. When this skill is used, Ian San will gain 15 Night Soul points and enter the Night Soul's Blessing state. When the kinetic energy scale leaves the field, Ian San's Night Soul's Blessing state will end. Kinetic Energy Scale. The kinetic energy scale will follow the character around, boosting the attack of your current active party member in different ways based on Ian San's Night Soul points. If Ian San has less than 42 Night Soul points, the attack bonus will be based on her Night Soul points and attack. If Ian San has at least 42 Night Soul points, the attack bonus will be based on her attack. Additionally, the scale will log the distance your current active character, excluding Ian San, has moved so long as it is active, restoring Night Soul points to Lanson every second based on the distance moved in the previous second. The scale will disappear once her Night Soul's Blessing state ends. It will disappear as after you cease being in a state of combat. While it is active, Ian San's Night Soul's Blessing state will not end even if she is not on the field. This is her damage and attack bonus chart. You can pause the video and read. Now let's see what her passive talents are. Passive 1, Enhanced Resistance Training. After Swift Stormflight hits opponents, Ian San will gain the precise movement effect for 15 seconds. During this time, her attack is increased by 20%, and whenever she regains Night Soul points through the kinetic energy scale in her Elemental Burst, the 3 principles of power, she will gain 1 extra Night Soul point. Additionally, when your current active party member consumes or restores Night Soul points, the extra Night Soul points she gains the next time she restores Night Soul points via the scale will be increased to 4. This effect can occur once every 2.8 seconds. Precise movement will expire when Ian-san's Night Soul's blessing state does. Passive 2. Kinetic Energy Gradient Test. When a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, Ian-san will obtain the warming up effect for 10 seconds. During this time, when Ian-san restores at least 1 Night Soul point, she will also heal your current active character for 60% of her attack. This effect can be triggered once every 2.8 seconds. Passive 3. Night Realm's Gift. Hard Work and Drive. After Night Soul points have been fully depleted and Ian-san is on the field, she will switch to using Phlogiston to maintain her Night Soul's blessing. While in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, Night Soul Transmission, Ian-san can be used. When the current active character is sprinting or in movement modes caused by certain talents, or at a certain height in the air, switching to Lan-san will trigger the following. Ian-san enters the Night Soul's blessing state and obtains 25 Night Soul points. Night Soul Transmission can be triggered once every 10 seconds by your own party. Passive 4. Caloric Balancing Plan. While in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, regain 10 Phlogiston when Phlogiston levels drop below 50%. This can occur once every 10 seconds. Now let's move on to her constellations. C1. Starting's never easy. When Ian-san is in combat and is in the Night Soul's blessing state, she will restore 15 elemental energy for every 6 Night Soul points she consumes. This effect can trigger once every 18 seconds. C2. Laziness is the enemy. When using the elemental burst, the 3 principles of power, Ian-san will also gain the precise movement effect from her passive talent, Enhanced Resistance Training, for 15 seconds. Additionally, if Ian-san is off-field while precise movement is active, she will also increase your current active character's attack by 30%. You must first unlock the passive talent Enhanced Resistance Training to access the above effect. C3. Scientific Diet Planning. Increases the level of Thunderbolt Rush by 3. Maximum upgrade level is 15. C4. Slow and Steady. Wins the race. When the kinetic energy scale is present, Ian-san will gain 2 stacks of Surging Force after your current active character, excluding herself, uses their elemental burst. This lasts until the scale leaves the field, and Surging Force can be gained once per scale summoning. Whenever Ian-san restores Night Soul points via the scale, she will consume 1 Surging Force stack and restore 4 additional Night Soul points. Additionally, if her Night Soul restoration overflows, Ian-san will gain 50% of the overflow the next time she restores Night Soul points via the scale. C5, we can push it further. Increases the level of the 3 principles of power by 3. Maximum upgrade level is 15. C6, Teachings of the Collective of Plenty. The kinetic energy scale's duration is increased by 3 seconds. Additionally, when Ian-san triggers Night Soul point restoration, if there is any overflow, she will gain the Extreme Force effect, which increases the damage dealt by your current active character by 25% for 3 seconds. At the end, this is some damage comparison between Bennett and Ian-san with Arlecchino as DPS. So, what's your thoughts on Ian-san's kit? Do you think she will outshine our favorite boy Bennett? Let us know your thoughts in comment section. Love you all, stay healthy, and thanks for watching.